Hello everyone, and welcome to Math 1325, the second 8 weeks in the fall. My name's Terry Barnes and I'll be helping you through this quick journey. So I wanted to take just a short video and show you how the course is set up and what the expectations are. So if you're looking at this, you can see announcements will be here, and there will be one at least every week. If not, if something special comes up, there'll be another one. So be sure you look at that area and check out the announcement. The orientation video is here. Access Pearson, this is where you'll come up with all your materials. And then there's a content browser here where I've put the things that I think are important. So let's look at each of these pieces. So first off is the instructor plan. That's your syllabus. And if we look at that, I'm not going to read all of that, but let's look at a couple of things. So my information is here. Office phone number, office location in math, it's office 210. So there's that. You do not have to have a hard copy of the text. You get a electronic book with your paid tuition. You do need a graphing calculator, either an 83 or 84. If you have a different calculator that you use and you know how to use, that is fine with me, but this is what I teach with. And then if we go down to here, you can be dropped if you miss more than 25% of an online course, and we'll talk about how that's done when we look at attendance a little bit closer. But you can be dropped, and that'll be a grade of W. And let's go down here. We're going to look at the calendar in a minute. So grading. You have a lot of homework items, and those count 30% of your total average. You can do the homework over and over till you get the grade you want, which I hope would be 100. Each question you could try up to 3 times. On the third time, it will regenerate numbers. So your homework is important, and it counts 30% of your average. Tests will count 50% of your average. And this is really important. Before each test is available online, all the homework must be completed with at least a 70 for that unit. So if you don't have your homework done, the test will not open for you. So just be prepared for that. You have to get your homework done in order to test. Then the final exam counts 20% of your final average. And with tests, you get to take each online test twice. The higher of the grade will count. Final exam, you get to take it once. So that is that. And I think, okay, so for attendance for our class, it's going to be based on participation. You must work each week, either on a homework or a test. If you don't complete any work in a week, that counts as an absence. And you're allowed 2 such weeks. So that'd be 2 absences out 2 weeks out of 8 weeks. That is a fourth of it. But if you receive a third absence, you could be dropped for attendance issues. And it's real easy. You just need to work on something every week, and that'll count for your attendance. So that's our syllabus, our instructor plan. Let's go look at the next item. Okay, important student resources. You may want to look at those. Communication project. Let's look at this. So the school has asked us to evaluate your communication skills for this course. And this was random. They just picked and said, okay, you're evaluating this one. And this sheet will tell you about that. In an online class, you'll be asked to prepare a presentation explaining how to solve one problem. There is a list of final exam review problems. You can pick any question from any part of the review. And if you're not used to Zoom, I've got directions here for that. But if you are used to it, any way that you want to go about it, you can record yourself doing that question and then send me that and I'll evaluate it. And so the directions for that are here. And if you want to do it on a computer or if you want to do it on your phone, both those directions are there. And this is what I'm looking for. And you can get up to a 4 on each of these pieces. So you could get a total of 12 points. And, or if none of that works, you could make an appointment and come to my office and present a review question to me there. Remember that the rubric score you get and that I have to turn into the data people will not have your name on it. It is just they need the data. And it will not affect your course grade. But if you participate, it gives you 4 points on the final exam. So it does nothing but help you. It can't hurt you. It doesn't hurt your grade. It doesn't affect your grade other than it can improve your final exam grade if you just participate, no matter what you get here. So that's how that works. And I'm hoping that everyone will participate in that. Okay, handouts are here and there'll be some formulas and different things. So just check that out. Those are handouts that you can print. And there will be a curve sketching part when we get to chapter 13, and you'll need to do that. And I will put more in an announcement about that, but that's under handouts. You don't need this one. That one shouldn't even be showing up. Calendar, let's look at that calendar. It is just a suggestion. Everything is available right now except the final exam. You cannot get to the final exam until December 1st. Everything is due December 10th, including the final, but all of this work is available now. And then the final exam will open December 1st. So you can't really complete the course until the end, but you can work ahead on any of this material. And this is just a suggestion. Week 1, work on 12.1 through 12.4. Week 2, do the last one of chapter 12 and take that exam, and then work on chapter 13. So, and then in week 3, do the curve sketching for chapter 13 and take the exam. So you can see how that works. You don't have to follow this per se, but this is a suggestion. If you follow it, you'll probably be in good shape at the end of the 8 weeks. So that is our calendar. My schedule and office hours are on this piece of paper, and that's what you would see if you came by my office. Office hours, 7 to 8 on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, because I have an 8 o'clock class, so I'm there an hour before. And then on Tuesdays, I'm in the office from 12 to 3. If that doesn't work for you, we could certainly Zoom by request. But this is my schedule, and that's what's on my door. Okay, this next part, problem sets, lecture notes, video lectures. This is the meat of my course. And so what I hope you will do is go through and look at the problem set. Let's pull one up, chapter 12. We'll go to 12.1 and we'll click that. It's going to be a PDF. Let's see if we can get it to come all the way up. There we go. All right, so find the derivative of all these functions. And you may, if you've had any calculus before, you're going to know that. But if not, you're going to learn how to do that with the lecture notes and the video. So this is practice problem. All right, so let's go back and look at the lecture notes. All right, so there was problem sets for every section, every chapter. Now let's go to the lecture notes and look at that. Same idea. All right, here's our 12.1. And if you were in class, then you'd be seeing these as we put them on the board. And these are the rules that you'd come to. And then eventually we come to the problems. And this is the same number 1 that was on your problem set. And this one's pretty easy, so there's not much to do with that one. On some of them, I'm showing you how to rewrite them to make it easier. And we go through and we work all those problems in the lecture notes. That might be okay for some people. Some people are going to need the video. Let's go look at that and see what that looks like. All right, so we've looked at problem sets, we've looked at lecture notes, video lectures. This is my YouTube channel for this course. And so if we go here, and so we've got a video for every section there, and you can see it starts out, this one's a little longer. By the time we get to 12.5, that's a little shorter, but it's me explaining what we're doing. So I go through every section, every lecture note that we've got in the course. I'm going to do that on a video. So you have a problem set that we have lecture notes that go with, and you have a video that goes with, and we have that for every section that we cover. Lastly, there's a final exam review. That's where you're going to pull a question to explain to me in the communication problem, and that's where you will study for your final. And we'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. So that's how that goes. Now, this is where you're going to do your homework, and I'm redoing this video because my original one did not have sound with it. I don't know what happened there, but I don't know that this is opening and showing us anything, but this is where you would do your homework. Let me see if I can get it open. So I did get that open, but it is still having errors. Pearson is down, and so I can't get to that. But in the student links, when you do it, you would not see these. You would just have these, and this is where you would go to do all your homework. And you can do your homework as many times as you need, as I said, to get the things right. And within the homework, there's a part at the bottom that says more help, and there's a ask my instructor. If you have a question about a homework question, I'm hopeful that you will use that. It sends me your exact question, and I can get back to you with something that really goes with what you're trying to do. So ask my instructor is really good. I think that's probably, I think you'll be fine once this gets in. If you do have any questions, once we get into everything and once the system's working, just email me and let me know. But I think that's going to be good. So this is where you will do your homework. You'll just open Pearson and you'll go to your math lab assignments and you will do it there. And then I think that's what you needed to know. Don't worry about it right now. It's been out all morning, and hopefully it will be back when you try to do this tomorrow. So I look forward to working with you.